So hi, I'm getting here to show you why crafting sucks in Path of Exile. So GGG, in one of their manifesto posts, are saying they're going to change harvest crafting to make it slightly worse. They're not even removing it, they're just changing some of these crafts so that you can't deterministically remove a craft and then add it back over and over and over again until you get the perfect roll, and eventually do that until you get a perfect item with 6 top tier stats every single time, divined to perfection. Right? That's what they're getting rid of. These crafts are still incredibly powerful, even if they do get rid of all that shit. But what do these crafts actually represent? Have you ever entered a map and had 5 Exalted Orbs drop on the ground right in front of you, instantly? No, that's never fucking happened. But every time you enter a grove, you've probably found one of these crafts. Okay? They're really not that uncommon. Okay? Now, Harvest is great for all the other wacky, goofy shit that you can get from it, but these crafts are just slightly broken because this mod existing, for instance, makes this orb completely pointless to ever use, unless you're trying to, like, exalt mana, which doesn't actually have an equivalent augment craft. So I would argue that every single time you find one of these crafts, like this remove add craft, it's the equivalent of finding 6 annulment orbs and, a lot of exalted orbs, just dropped for you for crafting power. Because there's 6 mods on an item, an orb of annulment can selectively remove one of them, so, instead of randomly removing it, you get a targeted remove. So that's basically the equivalent of finding like 6 annulment orbs just dropping for you, an equivalent crafting power. And then like, well, how many exalted orbs is this worth? A lot, okay? Depending on what you're actually trying to roll, this is worth a lot of exalteds. Not just 1 exalted, or 2 or 3 or 5, probably more like 10. And if you're trying to craft something really, really hard, normally, probably more like 20 or 30, maybe even like 50. So, let's say, trying to craft a +2 Chaos Gems amulet. So first, you would roll the Strength, Dex, Intelligence, whatever you're trying to roll for Chaos, like, your equivalent Chaos Gem, and then to get this other +1 Gems roll, like this would be really difficult to get both these mods in the same, like, Chaos Orb, for instance. But, if you first just roll this plus to, stat gems, and then you just augment Chaos Gems, or, like, remove non-Chaos, add Chaos, you will eventually end up with an amulet every single time that has your stat gem, your chaos gem, your chaos damage over time multiplier, chaos resistance, and chaos life leech. Okay? And you will always guaranteed get that. Okay, that's just like set unique item you'll just get. So, like, getting that through chaosing or trying to exalt that would take a lot of currency to ever actually do. But with these crafts, you guarantee it every time. So the equivalent crafting power of these types of crafts is insane. So, at the very least, you could say these crafts are worth 5 annulment orbs and 5 exalted orbs worth of crafting power. Okay? So every time you find this, it's like finding 5 exalted orbs just on the fucking ground, given to you. Alright? So let's look at the actual game, okay? And see what type of thing I have. So here is my hideout, here's my crafting station. For the things I haven't even spent, okay, because I've spent other crafts before this, let's just say that this is all I found in the league so far. Through Harvest, I've already acquired, you could say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of these remove add mods, alright? And each one of these, I'm going to argue, has at least the crafting power of 5 annulment orbs and 5 exalted orbs. So this bench is basically storing 30 annulment orbs and 30 exalted orbs worth of crafting power to use. So this is why Harvest crafting is so fucking great. You actually get currency to craft with. Let's go to my actual stash. This is how much currency I have to craft with. 7 exalteds and 4 annulments and 2, 3 exalteds of like gumball currency. Alright? So this is what makes Harvest good. Okay? Because you actually get currency to craft with. Currency drops are fucking garbage. You never get any exalted orbs enough to actually use. Like, an Awakener's Orb. Like, why do you have to kill Cyrus like 24 times to get 1 Awakener's Orb to drop? Or, like, any of these other, like, influenced exalteds. Like, why are these so stupidly rare? Like, why? They just don't exist functionally unless you play the game way too fucking much. Alright? So, like, Harvest should probably be removed entirely for all of these dumb crafts. What they should do instead is buff the drop rate of exalted orbs like legitimately 10 times over. Like, this stack of Exalted Orbs that I have should be like 50 or 70 Exalteds by now. And if I had that many, I could easily go about crafting stuff that I would actually probably use, instead of using the crafting bench literally every time, because there would be no reason to ever do that. Okay? So, like, Harvest is stupid and overpowered in an item editor, but the currency drops in the game are just so fucking broken, and, like, this should be changed. Like, this is dumb. Like, Harvest is bad, but the currency drops are even worse.